You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. The fight is underway to save Head Start here in California. Then in dollars and cents, we have tips to take back control if you're struggling with credit card debt. Plus, EV and hybrid drivers could see an increase in annual registration fees. What you need to know. ABC10 Plus This Week starts now.
Driving an electric vehicle or a hybrid one can potentially cost drivers a little bit more. It comes as some members of Congress say federal funds within the Highway Trust Fund are dwindling, and electric and hybrid drivers need to pay their share. ABC10's Jeannie Nguyen joins us with the details about this potential change.
Alex, if Congress passes this new fee, it could add a couple $100s more onto registration fees for drivers. Drivers here in California tell me it's just going to add on to the growing cost of living.
In the long run, we saw it as something that made a lot of sense.
For the sake of the environment and cost, Bob Martinez says going electric was an obvious choice.
In terms of fuel consumption, it's fantastic.
But cost efficiency may change after Republican Congress members of the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee recently approved a proposal that would increase registration fees for EV and hybrid drivers.
Implements a $200 annual fee on electric vehicles and a $100 annual fee on hybrid vehicles, and deposits all collections into the Highway Trust Fund.
Republicans claim because EVs do not pay a tax, it's contributed to the decline of the Highway Trust Fund, a federal program that provides maintenance to roads and bridges nationwide. Congressman Kevin Kiley is a part of the committee and an EV driver himself.
This is just a way to provide some parity so that everyone is funding the Highway Trust Fund in equal measure.
In response, Democrats in Congress say this fee will end up costing EV and hybrid drivers more than those who drive gas-powered vehicles.
The average combustion engine vehicle pays $90 annually into the Highway Trust Fund in gas taxes.
Democrats adding that the Highway Trust Fund has been unsustainable since before electric vehicles and encourages Congress to find a better solution.
To reach sustainability, Congress should examine how all drivers, including EV drivers, contribute to it.
Making drivers like Martinez believe the initiative in Congress is counterintuitive.
It's very short-sighted. The whole idea is to incentivize people to do things that hopefully save the environment and are cost-effective from a planetary perspective in the long run.
With the rising cost of living, Congressman Kiley acknowledged this additional fee will be unfortunate for drivers. He tells me the solution to this is to lower the cost of energy, housing, and everything else. Alex?
In tonight's Dollars and Cents, we're answering a viewer question many of you have been asking. How can I cut down on my credit card spending and reduce my debt? Here at ABC10, we stand for you. And during this time of economic uncertainty, we're getting answers to help you navigate your financial goals.
ABC10 viewer Tiffany Butler writes, I saw your news segment on credit card debt. The past couple of years, I've noticed my debt has increased significantly. What are some tips and where do I start to try to rid myself of the debt? I have 2 credit cards currently. I turn to Roseville-based financial advisor Elizabeth Daphner for answers.
I encourage people that if the credit card is starting to get out of control, then switch over to using the debit card.
The goal is to only spend money you have, not borrowing money through a credit card. Daphner advises stop using your credit card if you cannot pay off the balance each month. This could also help you avoid additional fees and interest.
Look at the credit cards and to say, okay, what interest rate is on each card? Most people don't know what interest rates are on their cards. And so I'd be really careful and make sure she's paying down the highest interest rate first.
Daphner also recommends knowing your credit card balance and the minimum payment, something she says many people surprisingly don't know.
And that you couple that with also the idea of paying down the lowest balance first to give you confidence and to motivate you to tackle on the other ones.
Daphner also advises using a budgeting app or a spreadsheet to create a budget to help you keep your spending on track to avoid using credit cards.
And in your line of work and in your area of expertise and really being face-to-face with clients and helping them manage their money, what are some ways that you see them kind of start to slip into too much spending with their credit cards?
The answer really comes down to someone's thought process around around money.
Remember, money is emotional. Ask yourself if you're more of an impulse buyer or if you're more concerned about running out of money and willing to make sacrifices to save. No matter where you stand, Daphner says anyone can work on building their financial confidence.
I can control my money. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep, how much money you're spending.
There's a lot to learn about credit card debt and interest rates and how to make a budget, and I've got you covered. You can find those stories under the Dollars and Cents tab on our website, abc10.com. You can also stream us on our free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. Remember, your money questions have answers. You can email me at lpainter@abc10.com.
An early childhood education program called Head Start, which serves tens of thousands of California's most vulnerable kids, is in a fight for its survival. And now a bipartisan group of state lawmakers is asking California's members of Congress to save the program. ABC 10's Becca Hobecker joins us in studio tonight. Becca, we know that Head Start, it really relies on federal funding.
Yeah, it definitely relies on federal funding. A Head Start, a free program serving low-income 0 to 5-year-olds nationwide, is funded by the federal government. It's been around for 60 years, but now that funding is uncertain.
Head Start classrooms are bustling centers of learning and laughter, nutrition and nurturing.
Like an apple.
This is a Head Start classroom in Sacramento ABC 10 visited earlier this year.
Maurice is making a prediction, which is an educated guess.
For 6 decades now, nationwide, Head Start has been serving America's lowest income kids, ages 0 to 5.
We serve folks, for the most part, living under the federal poverty line.
Melanie Cottrell is executive director of Head Start California.
We served just a little over 80,000 kids last year. We educate kids, yes, but we also provide nutrition services, health services, family support services, and we really are an economic engine for this country.
California receives $1.5 billion annually in federal Head Start funding through the Department of Health and Human Services. But now that's in jeopardy.
Early in April, there was a leaked draft of the president's budget that would have eliminated Head Start. Last Friday, the president's skinny budget was released, and that skinny budget has a list of programs to eliminate, but that list no longer includes Head Start. But we still do not have an actual funding number in the president's budget.
Given the uncertainty, a bipartisan coalition of state lawmakers wrote a letter to California's members of Congress, urging them to continue funding Head Start.
Signed by over 3/4 of the legislature. That is probably the most bipartisan letter and issue that we have worked on in years.
Lawmakers and supporters voiced their concerns in a news conference this week.
I was a Head Start kid, raised in rural California by a single mom who worked 2 jobs just to keep the lights on and put food on the table. I know firsthand what Head Start means to families like mine. It was a lifeline.
The program has long been in the crosshairs of the conservative Heritage Foundation, which cites a 2010 and 2012 report from Health and Human Services, showing, among other outcomes, that by 3rd grade, Head Start had little to no impact on cognitive, social, emotional, health, or parenting practices of participants.
The study the Heritage Foundation is looking at does say that by 3rd grade, it looks like Head Start kids no longer have an advantage. And the Heritage Foundation seems to be drawing the conclusion that that means that Head Start doesn't work. I would challenge that and say, think about this. If you're not in Head Start, it takes your kid until 3rd grade to catch up to Head Start kids.
She urges anyone who wants to save Head Start funding to call their members of Congress.
Now, while Head Start does continue to operate here in California, several regional Head Start offices were closed nationwide earlier this year, including one that serves California, as part of a broader cut at the Department of Health and Human Services. Now, advocates warn nearly 1,000 Head Start workers here in California have received notification their jobs could be eliminated if federal cuts do happen. Alex.
Okay, so in Elk Grove and across the state, thieves are distracting people to commit brazen robberies, and they often target the elderly.
As ABC 10's Luke Clary reports, now police are hoping to warn others before it happens again.
This right here.
Gold jewelry,
For about as long as it's been around, thieves have been trying to get their hands on it.
And this little pile right here.
And Mark Hutchison has seen it all in his career as the owner of the Gold Digger Pawn Shop in Elk Grove.
Yeah, these are professionals. That's what they're trained to do. I've had many customers that it's happened to.
And according to Elk Grove Police, in the last 6 weeks, there have been 5 so-called distraction robberies in the city.
A common technique is they'll use some type of distraction. Sometimes they're showing them that piece of jewelry.
And they have these fake gold chains that cost them 30 cents and start draping you with gold, putting it on, but all the while they're putting it on, they're actually taking yours off.
All of which with the goal of distracting the victim in order to get usually a piece of jewelry, a wallet, or a purse from the victim. These types of crimes are not isolated here to Elk Grove. They're happening all over the region, right, and across the state.
Sacramento police also reporting a series of jewelry thefts and robberies, and Lincoln police shared this post about an attempted scam on Highway 65, someone offering fake jewelry in exchange for the use of a credit card.
By the time I realized it was too late.
It's a lesson even this seasoned professional once learned the hard way.
I felt something was off, and I said, listen, I don't know if you guys think you're going to switch the bag on me or try to rob me, but whatever you're trying to do, it's not going to work here. And it worked. They got me. 3384, 14 karat gold, we pay 80%.
He hopes others will take a lesson from him.
There's really nothing that you could do except for not let people in your comfort zone.
In Elk Grove, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
Police say you should take a moment to talk with your elderly family members or neighbors about distraction robberies. Many victims are targeted because they're wearing jewelry or may seem more trusting. Share with your loved ones some simple safety tips like keeping valuables out of sight and being cautious when approached by strangers.
A lot to cover tonight, but we want to start with continuing coverage at the state capitol. Here's what we know. Some are calling it a major course correction. After weeks of controversy over a bill meant to crack down on child sex trafficking, California Assembly Democrats are walking back changes.
Lawmakers reached a deal to bring back tough penalties for those who solicit sex from teens. ABC 10's Garshpal Sangha explains why.
I'm grateful to my colleagues for getting this right.
That relief comes from Sacramento area Democratic Assembly member Maggie Krell, a former prosecutor whose anti-trafficking bill was nearly gutted until last-minute negotiations brought it back to life. Krell's bill, AB10 originally imposed felony charges for adults buying sex from 16 and 17-year-olds. But Assembly Democrats removed that language and removed Krell as the bill's lead author.
When I introduced this bill, this was not how I predicted things would go, but here I am today looking at a very strong bill.
Since then, public pressure mounted, including a California GOP ad featuring teens slamming Democrats' stance on the bill. The ad is inspired by Kendrick Lamar's hit song.
They not like us. They don't know what it's like to feel this fear. Our safety isn't minor.
The latest version of the bill aligns closer to Krell's intent. It includes penalties against those who solicit 16 and 17-year-olds for sex, but prohibits prosecutors from applying felony charges if the accused is within 3 years of the victim's age. Some Democrats have said parents could weaponize the law if they are not approving of interracial or LGBTQ relationships. Elk Grove area Assembly member Stephanie Wynn, who had once replaced Krell as the bill's author, voiced her concerns on the Assembly floor last week.
You don't care because these amendments include the 16 and 17-year-olds.
Now Wynn says in a statement in part, quote, "This new bill is stronger and reflects California's deep commitment to protecting every young person's safety and dignity."
We're not talking about teen dating relationships. We're talking about Johns who are purchasing kids on the street.
Assembly Republican leader James Gallagher pleased the Democratic Party reversed course.
At the end of the day, like the Democrats have admitted they were wrong and they've changed course, and that's a good thing for California.
I'm really relieved and glad that we're moving this bill forward with more protections for minors.
And now the bill will head to the Assembly Appropriations Committee, where it will be heard tomorrow morning. Reporting from the state capitol, Garshpal Sangha, ABC 10.
Welcome back. 10 on Your Side is getting results for viewers all across the area. Take a look.
From Sacramento.
You got my money back
It's over $500.
To Placer County.
I would just encourage AT&T customers to look carefully at their bill every month.
And now in Stockton, 10 on Your Side has helped yet another viewer get their money back from AT&T. Tammy Voss sent 10 on Your Side this message, saying, my elderly father has been working with AT&T since October of 2024 when he called to cancel his landline. They assumed that he wanted a cell phone and generated an account and sent a Samsung phone anyway. He was in a care facility. He did not know they sent a phone, and when he got out of the care facility, he did all he could to return it. It keeps accruing late fees. He's paid over $400, if not more. We do not think we should be forced to pay for their employees' mistake. I immediately called AT&T for answers. They addressed the issue within days, saying we hold ourselves to the highest standards when it comes to customer service, and we work with this customer to address their concerns. And Tammy sent me this email saying AT&T made contact with me and reviewed all charges after discovering that this was an additional account with autopay that was wrongly created by an AT&T customer rep when my dad was closing his landline. She gave me detailed information and reversed charges to him for the cell service, phone issued, late fees, reconnection fees, and convenience fees. Thank you for all that you've done to bring peace to my dad on this matter. And do you have a problem and don't know where else to turn? Email me at onyourside@abc10.com.
For some students in Stockton, this morning's historic news brought classroom lessons to life.
Yeah, ABC10's Gabriel Porras spoke to students and teachers.
Some students were in the classroom, others were outside on recess, but around 9:10 this morning, the hallways here at Annunciation School erupted in cheers.
They just couldn't contain their excitement. Second grade teacher Lindsay Haley was holding the phone.
And one of my students leaned over and said, Miss Haley, the smoke is white. And we just happened to see it right then and there. And all the kids on the stairwell, everyone cheered. The fourth graders came out of their classroom.
For the fourth graders, cheers turned into...
Can the Pope vote for themselves? Can the Pope just decide he doesn't want to be it after like a month? Can he stay up there for the entire rest of the day?
Which is exactly what teacher Frank Paquette was hoping for.
We really get to learn it as it's happening.
Even if he didn't have all the answers.
The curiosity that they have for the papacy, but also for the Catholic Church, and just wanting to know more about what's in there, the more they learn, the more they want to learn. And so it's a beautiful thing to watch their curiosity really sparked by this.
It means a lot that someone from the U.S. is becoming basically a world leader.
Halfway across the world, these students won't forget where they were.
The Catholic boys in our class and how any one of you could one day become Pope.
When history was made.
I think he'd be a really good Pope, honestly. I really think he would.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Unforgettable experience for those young children. And right now on the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app, we have continuing coverage of the first American Pope and the full interview with Bishop Jaime Soto. The app is free to download on your TV.
Welcome back in. I'm Kevin John. Well, he stands at 6'5", weighs approximately 300 pounds, and is known to pancake opponents on the football field. Oh yeah, he's also graduating with a 4.1 GPA and is headed to one of the most prestigious universities in the world.
Sacrifices, you got to put in the work. Just like you got to put in the work on the field, you got to put work on the classroom.
Adarian Adelabu definitely understands the meaning of sacrifice. The Franklin High School football player out of Elk Grove has made sacrifices all throughout his high school career.
You got to stay up to study. You know, some nights stay a little past your bedtime, you know, can't hang out with friends after school like that, but it all pays off.
And it paid off in an incredible way for Adarian.
I had a trainer send my film over to the D-line coach at Yale. Got a call around, I believe, September or November, and Yale was my first offer.
And with a 4.1 GPA, he's definitely Yale material.
I think I've always been a student at heart. I've always just loved to learn just random things. You know, as a young kid, I got books for Christmas. You know, I just love learning.
Believe it or not, This past season was Adarian's first year playing tackle football.
I didn't know anything about football, so I kind of we obviously know it's going to be a lineman.
Being a first-year player, he kind of just came out just ready to learn. He's been a sponge. He's just a good kid. I mean, he's overall smart. Obviously, he's going to Yale, so it was easy to teach, and he's fun to be around.
Adarian's main inspiration comes from a special person in his life.
My mom was my biggest inspiration, my biggest supporter. I owe it all to her, 100%.
And Adarian has some words of inspiration to leave us with.
God has a plan for you, and you will succeed whatever his plan is.
Now, Adarian takes off for Yale the end of June. He plans to major in psychology on the pre-med track, and he hopes to one day become a psychiatrist.
We know that in news, stories are filled with challenges and hardships, but incredible things are happening each and every day. From neighbors helping neighbors to inspiring acts of kindness. Each week, we're sharing stories on people who are really making a difference. So tonight, we're taking you out to Davis, where a simple act of kindness is doing more than making people laugh. It's reminding neighbors of the power of community.
Along this green belt in North Davis, people are stopped in their tracks.
Did you know that Yoda has a last name? It's Lehihu. Yoda Lehihu.
To laugh.
I wanted to do something just to sort of brighten up the neighborhood, and I had this giant chalkboard. So I came up with the idea to mount it here and do a daily joke.
I really did tell the joke on a conference call.
That was you! Well, you're hired.
Michelle Livingston and her family started writing a joke a day during the height of the pandemic.
I just saw so many people really sad and disconnected, walking so far away from each other because none of us really knew how to respond at that point to the pandemic.
We love this.
Oh, thank you.
It's one good thing that came out of COVID.
Exactly.
One of my favorites that I saw was, what do you call a pony with a sore throat?
A little horse.
An act of kindness.
I just think it's a great example of bringing the community together in really small ways to spark joy and laughter.
To remind people they're not alone.
It was really fun to hear people come by and laugh or groan or hear parents try to explain to their children the punchline. It was heartwarming and made us laugh.
From silly puns to one-liners.
One of the dad jokes left as an offering for us was, I ate a clock yesterday. It was so time-consuming. They're really bad. They're really bad.
The board quickly became a favorite stop for neighbors old and young.
We're on the cross-country team and track team, so every day we run by coming through the greenbelt, and it's always just a landmark on our route to see the new joke of the day.
All the little things that people do every day really make an impact on the community.
The jokes not only make people laugh, but help them feel connected.
I'm originally from Japan, and it's a good kind of a good training for me to to broaden my vocabulary,
yes.
The kind of the jokeness of the U.S. culture,
and inspire neighbors to spread a little kindness themselves.
One of the many cards people have left us, and people left presents, chalk, a bottle of champagne on New Year's the first year. It was pretty wonderful. It's a thank you card that says, thank you for spreading kindness and building community with your daily jokes. What a gift.
In a world once isolated and can feel divided,
particularly now, and certainly during the pandemic, community building is just sort of what we need.
A good laugh.
That is a good one.
Is helping bring people together.
I hope it's just a reminder that no matter what's going on in your life, you can take a moment to connect with your community and have a little laugh or a groan some days, but connection's really important. It helps get all of us through the harder times, which, are a part of life.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus this week. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app has so much to offer. Get your news live and on demand 24/7 so you can watch the news when you want. There's breaking news, extended forecast, and so much more. We have everything you need to get through your day and ready for the weekend. We've got you covered on money-saving tips, travel, entertainment, and sports. Download the free ABC 10 Plus app on your smart TV and popular streaming devices like Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. ABC 10. We stand for you 24/7.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.
ABC 10 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We're planning for those changes. Stay fire ready.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
It very much is an active investigation.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. ABC 10 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.